2017, here in beautiful Ayer Town Hall. Let's confirm the agenda real quick. Any changes to the agenda? Any for you, Jess or George? The only thing I would add is that at 9 o'clock we'd include a discussion on the CA updates. Is in the CA. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I would accept a motion to approve the agenda as marked.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great. Do we have any announcements or accounts payable?
A couple of them. So starting with announcements, I sent this all to you earlier. The Sandy and Flanagan treatments are scheduled for Tuesday, August 29th, along with Pine Meadow Pond. Second, we received an MBTA maintenance letter for Protection Act exempt activities. It's for a positive train control system, which is basically just communications. I have the letter here if we want to pass it around. They also have a DEP decision included about it being Wetlands Protection Act exempt. Feel free to take a look.
I mean, oh. Okay. Anything else?
Next thing, we received an annotated book of DEP decisions sent to us by Land Law. It's $232 to keep it. It's no charge if we send it back. I personally don't think we need it. I wanted to confirm that with you all.
Any thoughts?
I'm not going to read it.
$232.
Pretty pricey. Okay.
What was the benefit of it? What does it do?
Just if you're, I guess if you're looking into, I guess just cases, it's an easy way to find them all. But yeah, I think they send it out every year. So
That's sweet of them.
Yeah. So.
They're hoping you forget.
Exactly. We don't need one. The Nashua River Watershed Association was just asking about the status of our bylaw as they're collecting information from municipalities. I let them know that just sort of the status of the Conservation Office in general, that we've been soliciting comments, and just wanted to provide them a timeline of if we're going to pick that back up, because I know the last, previously we were going to go to the fall meeting of the Board of Selectmen.
We're just pending.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say.
Okay, that's fine, so we'll just stick with that. And finally, those two certificates of compliance that we had, that I think Brian had taken care of, were recorded at the registry, so those are all set. I think that's all for announcements.
I find this interesting that DEP would say that this didn't qualify when they're talking about doing caissons and foundations for these new poles. Direct auger foundation, 12 inches in diameter and 10 feet deep. That's interesting. I want to hold on to this so I can be angry about it later.
Okay.
Any accounts payable?
Yes, so just wanted to update you guys on the Ayer Solar 2 from last meeting. Kyle came into my office on Tuesday. It turns out that they have given us enough payment. I think there's a payment issue going on in the Ayer office because we have copies of canceled checks for both the original peer review as well as the supplemental. They're shown as canceled by Ayer. So Lisa's on vacation. I'm going to work this out with her when she comes back.
Martha couldn't help?
Martha, I don't think she was in at the time. Who do we talk to?
Sandy.
In the front office. She had just said that they were applied
That
to
office or that office?
the town clerk.
Clerk.
Yeah. She had just said they were applied to the wrong accounts. So with these proofs, if you want to see them.
No, I'm very comfortable and confident that you guys figured out that you give them all the money and she just doesn't know.
Exactly. So the order was released and they will record it.
Wonderful. Sorry for the difficulty.
Moving on, I have a mileage report from my site inspections. to approve. This is basically since I started.
Did you go to Canada?
She's been doing it.
So according to this, Kate, and I didn't even know you had a last name, isn't that nice? Kate has got 77 miles worth, $41.965, which I would round up to $41.97.
Keep the change.
I would accept a motion to approve the mileage for Miss Rimmel. Is it Rimmel or Rimmel?
Rimmel. Yes.
Rimmel?
Yes.
Rimmel, not Rimmel.
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 So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Literally had no clue. I mean, I assumed you would have one.
Hey, it wasn't on the list last time too.
It's on the new ones.
Is it? Is it?
There it is.
Yeah.
Next, we have an invoice from the Neshoba Valley Voice for $673.98. All of these have
673. It must be for all the.
673 and what?
and 98 cents. Just for all the legal ads from July.
It's disappointing they don't list the name next to them.
Hingley Hill.
Exactly.
But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from 7, 6 from 7/7, and then 2 from 7/21. Actually, this one actually says POs lot 7 and lot 8.
That would be,
That would be Littleton Road.
yeah.
Which those checks were deposited this week, so
Okay.
payment can go up.
So we know what those two are.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, these other ones, I wish they'd given us some kind of hint. I mean, I'm sure we can figure it out, but
Are there 6 of them?
there are 6 of them indeed.
Hingley
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the request for amendments, would they get advertised as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are the first 6 that we did? Does that make sense to you,
Yep.
Mr. Mullane? Okay. All right. Based on that, okay. Looks like the math even works out. I would accept a motion to pay the Sun Sentinel Enterprise $673.98 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 advertisements.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, any others?
Yes, next up we have an invoice from WB Mason for $35.21. This is for file folders and a stapler.
And I'm the one who did the dirty deed.
Where'd the old stapler go?
It was there, it was a piece of unusable garbage.
AKA
Could
it
do
did
like-
not work.
I have,
It could do like
I have so many jokes.
Kate tried it out. It was,
He's an industrial stapler.
I would accept a motion to pay WB Mason $35.21 for folders and a new stapler.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And one more for you guys.
Any other necessary office supplies?
and there was the foot massager.
No.
And the last one is to renew our membership at the Massachusetts Society of Municipal Conservation Professionals. It's $20. Have you guys been members before? They say we would be renewing.
Two there.
We
That's
did,
interesting.
we did it, I think the request of our last agent, but
Yeah.
I don't think any of us were using it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So it's Michelle Grisenda from Weston, it says from westonmass.org. Wasn't Michelle at MACC?
It's a different Michelle.
Or Grisenda? Are you sure?
No.
It's a name you remember. Anybody?
Oh, no.
Thank you.
And it's all good.
Okay.
We hope that you're in the membership, which helps MSMCP provide networking opportunities among municipal conservation professionals as well as organize brown bag talks regarding current wetland regulations and land management issues that affect us all.
I'd wait till we have somebody,
Hmm?
I'd wait till we have somebody's name to put on it.
That's a good point.
Just kind of waiting to find out there's a brown bag event in West End. Would you mind just looking it up and figuring out what we're getting out of it?
Sure. And that is all I have for you guys in terms of accounts payable.
Thank you very much. Okay. It is now 7:15. We have a previously opened public hearing for DEP file number 100-0401, cross-country water main on Wright Road. Evening, Dan.
Good evening.
How'd you make it?
Pretty good.
Okay.
So Kate sent me the draft order of conditions.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I looked over. I just had one minor change, and then it looks pretty good. So.
Well, no offense, we could have done that without you, my friend.
Yeah.
But we're glad to see you. And
No
you've been
problem.
monitoring the HDD people working on that force main?
Over on
Monitoring some of
Westford
their-
Road, I've
yeah.
checked it out a few times. Yeah, they're doing the horizontal on the Groton side, but
Right.
yeah, it was pretty cool to see. And we did just bid the project, and the apparent low bidder is the same company working over there.
Excellent.
So they may be working on this project too.
Did you see the thickness of that pipe they put in?
Yeah,
Holy
the
smokes.
SDR11. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
thick.
It's like 3/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah,
Did you see it? Have you passed that way? So it's 10 inch or 8 inch?
8 inch.
8 inch. But then the sides of it are like 3/4 of an inch thick. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And that's HDPE.
HDPE.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we have we have a approved order of conditions, or approved the notice of intent to issue the order of conditions based upon the final review. We have a final review. Anybody have any further thoughts on this before we move forward? I'd accept a motion to sign the final order of conditions and close the public hearing for DEP file number 100-0401.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 You starting this,
We'll put
getting
this
this
on
far,
file.
okay?
They were hoping, yeah.
Oh, I recuse myself.
So Dan, how long?
Forget that
A
I.
little late.
How long do you think it'll take?
Probably a couple months, maybe not even. Just depends how the driller goes. That's 90% of the work is the horizontal directional drilling. So,
Yeah.
so hopefully we can get started in a month or so and get it done before the winter.
Well, let us know when you get going, and we'll come out to check it out.
Will do.
All right.
All right,
Thank you very
thanks.
much.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Oh.
You too.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I keep
Get that later.
Yeah,
Keep
I'll
it.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
So
Okay.
you know when it's ready.
Right. Yeah, you can put it in the mailbox here. Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks, Kate.
So Tuesday, right? It'll be Tuesday when you're back. You're back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
Have a nice night.
You too.
We have a continued public hearing for DEP file number 100-0404 for 0 Rosewood. Good evening, Kyle.
Good evening.
So if I remember correctly, and I guess I probably don't, where did we leave off?
In June,
It was a while ago.
yeah,
Wow, that long ago?
yes.
Oh,
So I had submitted
oh,
an update to the plan that we had looked at a couple of times.
sure.
One more? Okay.
And it was to address the variety of plantings
Right.
and some additional wildflower seed planting around the perimeter, as well as accommodating 3-foot mowed path, to be mowed twice a year, so access around the fence line could be made. I think we'd already talked about the minimum 2 growing seasons from the date of final acceptance. And That's in note 14.
Your plan will be to do these this fall?
That's correct.
Do you have a nursery or
I,
picked out? Or,
no. Do you have any suggestions?
well, you might want to ask
One in
around.
Amherst.
Mm.
I don't think we can.
Yeah, Amherst.
suggest-
Oh, I can't, no. So you
Oh.
just kind of get going.
Whoops, I didn't mean to
sooner versus
entrap
later.
anybody.
No.
No, a lot of nurseries run out of stock in the fall, so,
I don't think any of us represent big planting.
no.
Big plant.
Okay. So if I'm looking at this correctly, there seem to be more than we had before.
There's more in number, there's more in species. I think perhaps we haven't, no nursery's been contacted until we kind of get this plan finalized, so we know what it is that we'll be planting.
So I'm just going to run through them so that we're straight on all that. So the rhododendrons, front, and then red cedar and white pine spread out. Red sugar maple, black cherry, and black birch species. And then afterglow winterberry. And those are will stay small, okay? Right. And then I can't read the last one. Vernal witch hazel.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Do you want to trade?
No. No, my eyesight's just perfect. Do you have any comments, George? Okay.
Bonnie?
Bonnie?
No, I do not have any comments.
Jess? You were putting your glasses on. I waited until you could see me. Okay. So as I recall, right, where we last left off, you weren't worried about speed. We went back to add shrubs and in quantity. This certainly seems like an appropriate distribution at this point.
We did have one. Hadn't we talked, I think Takashi brought this up about invasive monitoring until the plantings really take hold.
Note 15 says, provide an invasive species monitoring and removal plan to be approved by commission prior to start of work.
Do you have one?
I don't have one.
Let's see. Okay. So, and your plan is to start in the next 30 days? Plus or minus? If you're planning to plant this season.
I'd give it a plus or minus.
Okay. All right. So what I would anticipate, based upon what we have here, I'm going to ask if there's anyone who came tonight to talk about it. But based on what we have here, we have a good planting plan to get started with. That would allow us to move forward with an order of conditions, which is basically to recommend that the planting plan happens per the plan, which would mean that before we could issue that, you need to give us the invasive species monitoring and removal plan.
So we can work on the order of conditions.
Work on the order of conditions while you work on your species removal plan.
Do
And we
you-
can trade.
On a bridge, West Main Street Bridge.
It's too far away.
So you're saying you won't issue the order until you have the invasive species monitoring
Well,
plan?
I guess what I'm saying, I would say it a different way. What I'd say is, I'm sure you want to get us the invasive species monitoring plan in time so you can move forward with your work, and so we'd love to get that at the same time as we issue the order.
It's a much
Sounds
better
reasonable.
phrasing.
Yeah, mine sounds much
It
nicer.
does, it's very...
Very reasonable.
Pretend to be reasonable all day. It's annoying. Okay, so if we have no other comments, and at this moment, we have an open NOI. Is there anyone here tonight who wanted to talk about the public hearing for Rosewood Way, the planting plan? Okay. Yes, Ken?
When you had the discussion previously, that ended in June, at at that point in time, you basically wanted the planning to start by the end of August, which that's not gonna happen, obviously, at this point in time, 'cause it's-
No, the planting was to start after the end of August. The idea is to plant during the hibernation season, not while the plants are alive.
I understand that. The other discussion that you had was regarding the concept that this was gonna replicate some of the forested areas that were deforested at the time. Do you feel comfortable that that's what this is accomplishing? That this is replicating some of the existing forest that was taken down? That's basically the point of the replication, rather than just landscaping the area of the plants.
Have you seen the plan?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, so,
I'm just asking you a question.
well, that's why we didn't have any comments, because we do feel comfortable. So the primary concern was with regard to the tree species, which was answered. So, in fact, I was actually just reading about this about a week ago, and one of the things that's common for our hardwood, combined hardwood forest would be the black cherry. There's eastern white pine, there's sugar maple, all of which are representative species for that area, but also lends a little bit of diversity because we've got a lot of oak in that section. So this brings some diversity to the plantings on the edge. One of the things that we were worried about and that our previous administrator had brought up was the number of low plants or low shrubs that would then fill in those spaces as well. And there's a real varied sprinkling of those plants in there now. I'm kind of excited about the witch hazel. The winterberry, have you seen the winterberry? It's like inkberry.
I don't kind of, I'm just trying to ask the question, you guys feel comfortable that it's doing what you want to do, that's.
Yes. This is a much greater diversity and a much greater planting schedule than what we had before us last time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I would accept a motion to approve the planting plan and to move forward with the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-040 based upon this plan dated 6/2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Kyle. We look forward to the invasive species monitoring.
Yes, indeed.
So, I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to September 14th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 That's our next public hearing, unless you want to continue to a later one. We did just vote, we could re-vote.
No, I'm sorry, I guess I thought you were closing the public hearing.
Well, no, just like we always do. So we do the order of conditions. So this gives some period of time. So the order of conditions is basically reflecting back on this drawing, but that gives us to the 14th to actually close the public hearing for 0404, which we wouldn't want to do until we had all the paperwork that was attached to it.
Very good.
Okay. So I'll see you on the 14th.
Right, okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, continue to 9:14. Oh, don't let me forget, I won't be here. Okay. We have a continued public hearing for 77 Woodland Way, Lot 68, DEP file number 100-0408. Mr. Mulaney, would you like to take up residence?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, so let's start with this one. So 0408. So at our last meeting, we reviewed the changes that had happened from the original design that were then discussed and distributed during the site walk. I don't think we had any questions on any of the NOIs. So this first one is for 0408. Does anyone have any thoughts or questions? And Mr. Mulaney, you've gone over this with Kate?
Yes.
Great. Anyone have any thoughts or questions on NA, on DEP file number 100-0408? George?
No.
Ms. Tillotson?
No.
Jess?
No.
All right. I would accept a motion to issue the order of conditions as completed for 100-0408 and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. While we are signing, why don't we reopen the public hearing for 100-0409? Kate calls it order. And she's got a new last name. We have before us order of conditions for 100-0409. There were changes to the plan which were discussed and reviewed during the site walk. During our last meeting, we worked forward to move forward on the order of conditions. Any changes to these, Mr. Mullany?
We just had a few housekeeping edits, nothing substantive, and Kate took care of everything.
Fantastic. George, any questions? No. Jess?
No.
Ms. Roy? Ms. Roy,
Oh,
any
no,
questions?
nothing.
I would accept a motion to issue the final order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0409 and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm loving this new last name, Kate. This is great. Why don't we reopen the public hearing for 100-0410? Thank you. As for the other two applications, plans were changed and discussed during the site walk. During our last meeting, we moved forward on the order of conditions. Any changes or anything issues? Any issues? Kate, anything for you?
Nothing.
Excellent. George?
Just as a
Fine.
reminder, what was changed on this one?
I think there's something changed on all of them.
I know, but
Yes.
I can't remember what was changed on this
This
one.
one.
Sure.
um,
Do you have the plan with you, Mr. Mullany?
Distance from the edge of the backland to the wetlands was increased 2 feet to 15 feet.
Yep.
Is this was the tricky one that was on the hill?
Yep,
52
'Cause
foot
it was-
long retaining wall added to the plan.
because originally it was 2 feet.
Wait, which one is it, Steve?
This
Is
is
it
this
the,
lot right
that
here.
one?
Yes.
Okay. Which was the, forgive me, which was the one exactly opposite? That one there.
Yep.
What's that one?
That's one of the amendments.
Okay. Because that's the one I was thinking of was the tricky one.
Just do it right here.
We're looking at lot 146A right now.
Yep, and you changed it from what to what?
2 feet to 15.
2 feet to 15
To
feet.
15, okay.
Right.
Okay,
The addition of the
right, right.
retaining wall.
And then impact,
And reduce the work in the
And
buffer
reduce-
zone by 640 square feet.
right. And then the retaining wall.
Yeah,
Yep.
52-foot retaining wall.
Right. Okay, lot 18. Okay. Okay, yep, thank you.
Excellent. This was the one that we, remember we walked out, it was really flat after the house.
Yeah.
I would entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0410 and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're just cooking here.
Ms. Rummel, do you have 0411?
I do. Here you go.
Call that number for information.
It's actually my parents' phone number. Okay. This is on 165 Hemlock. This is another one that changed,
Which is the next door lot.
the far one on the bottom.
Yep,
Okay.
top of the cul-de-sac.
Yep. So we made changes, we discussed while we were on the sidewalk.
It also went from 2 feet to 15.
Correct. 65-foot retaining wall and buffer zone work reduced by 497 square feet.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. I just want to be sure because
Yeah,
you're
thank
going
you.
through.
No, thank you, yep.
All right. So as discussed at our last meeting, we voted to move forward in the order of conditions. First, 100-0411, I would entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions for 100-0411 and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, and last but not least, Mr. Mullany, we had a request for amendment to an order of conditions, actually two more, sorry. 100-0275. Could you please remind us where 100-0275 was, sir?
100-0275 is lot 134A, which is opposite the driveway going up to the water tank.
Okay. So that's the one on the far side of that detention basin?
Correct.
So the basin was formed
Basin is
partially?
formed, right.
Partially? Wasn't, I don't know.
It's partially formed, it's not finished, that's formed.
So it was the one to the right of that? From the, sorry,
As
to
you're
the
facing
left of
the
that,
street, to the
facing it,
left.
to the left of it?
Correct.
Do you remember that one?
Yep.
All right, and that was the one that I think we finally agreed on a barrier in the back because it's pretty flat right to the wetland.
Right, the
area.
only change we made to this lot was we added the boulder demarcation,
Right.
and Jess had requested that we also put signs, so that was worked into the order that Kate wrote up.
It
Fantastic.
explains the boulders.
Yes.
To unwitting humans.
Based on the fact that we had our sidewalk and we made changes to the final order prior to issuing the order, I would accept a motion to issue the order of conditions for DEP 100-0275, close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And last but not least, DEP file number 100-0282.
That takes us back to the cul-de-sac.
And that was a tricky one.
That was a tricky one.
Look at that, Kate left her for last. Okay. So this was the one which had the most extensive changes. It involved the addition of, did you even have a retaining wall the first time?
No, there was no
You did.
retaining wall initially.
Right.
Initially, we simply added the boulders,
Right.
and then we added the retaining wall at your recommendation so that there would be more usable yard space.
An actual wall.
And this is one in which added to the order was the special requirement to use orange snow fence to mark the limit of
Right.
work where there's no erosion control as the
Right.
demarcation.
Yeah, because you won't be able to tell in the beginning. Did you have any further questions?
No.
This was the one I think we were all the
I
most
think we
worried about.
were concerned about this one, yeah.
But it's also the one that has the most changes to reflect the site conditions, and also in a nod to Mr. Mulaney, Mr. Roper, work went into the discussion about how to make sure that the folks who live here would have something they could work with as opposed to going off and developing it on their own in the future. So this was the tricky one.
Yep.
All right. Based on the changes that were made and discussed during the sidewalk and the vote during our last hearing, I would entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0282 in the revised order of conditions and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Actually, I think that's all for you, isn't it?
For tonight, anyway.
Yeah, I had these. Is this for the next, these for the next hearing? Right there.
Then we'll get the lads on those.
And you'll be sending me the bill.
Exactly. She'll let us know today.
So Steve, could you just not send those to my personal email, just to town email?
I'll probably crashing your email to it eventually.
Is your Gmail binding up, or?
I use Verizon.
And you mail me the orders with the
Yep.
updates.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for your time this evening. See you on the 14th.
Yes. Enjoy your holiday. Okay. Why don't we reopen our public hearing, starting with DEP file number 100-0406.
Good evening.
Good evening.
John Warden from Places Associates. There's 2 full-size copies and a letter for your file, I think.
So, John, we last engaged on our site walk last Saturday. During the site walk, we
It's actually
reviewed
7 and 8.
the...
I'm sorry.
We reviewed the staked out areas. And one of the discussion points was with regard to the river channel.
Yep. I have revised plans, cover letter, reduced plans, they're for both 7 and 8 together there, so, but we can certainly do 7 first. The checklist items, or housekeeping items, we added a detail and location for soil stockpiles. We added a detail and a location for dewatering if necessary. We added a split rail fence along the back to delineate a line for future homeowners to not continue clearing trees and creating lawn. And we added a rain garden at the end of the outlet pipe for the street drainage that is being extended to the back of that lot. So those were sort of the checklist items I think that we'd all agreed on. The question you had regarding the channel, I spoke to Brian Butler, and he referred me to the correct sections of the Wetlands Protection Act, which I've copied into this letter for you. The first one is CMR 1058-2H, which defines riverfront, and it says where rivers flow through lakes or ponds, the riverfront area stops at the inlet and begins again at the outlet. A water body identified as a lake, pond, or reservoir on the current USGS map or more recent map provided by the department is a lake or pond, unless the issuing authority determines that the water body has primarily riverine characteristics. So basically it says if it's called a pond on the quad, it's a pond, unless you guys dispute it. And the second page is a copy of the quad map, which shows it listed as, labeled as Shaker Mill Pond. So in my opinion, it's a pond. You can take that a little further. If you flip to the third page beyond the quad map, there's the definition from the Wetlands Protection Act of pond. It says pond, parentheses inland, means any open body of fresh water with a surface area observed or recorded within the last 10 years of 10,000 square feet, of at least 10,000 square feet. The pond's 7.5 acres or so, we're way over that. It continues on to say, ponds may be either naturally occurring or human-made by impoundment, excavation, or otherwise. So the fact that it has a dam and it is an impoundment, which is what you were calling out, does not prevent it from being a pond by definition. So therefore, if we agree that it's a pond, we go back to the first definition, which says the riverfront ends at the beginning and the end. And in this case, we're roughly the middle of the pond, so the inlet's about 600 feet away from lot 7, and the outlet's about 600 feet away from lot 8. So we don't end up with, in my opinion, having riverfront on this property.
I appreciate the definitions. We had, where that survey had been done and specifically called out the channel, we quite honestly weren't sure how it ran.
I wasn't either, to be honest with you, so it was a good exercise for me to run through the details and familiarize myself again. And as I said, I called Brian at Oxbow, and he was helpful in the matter.
No, it was
So.
very helpful. George, do you have any questions?
Yeah, just one question. So one definition of riverine characteristics is flow rate. Has the flow rate been determined?
No. I mean, standing out there, it doesn't appear to flow visually, so that doesn't make, so therefore it doesn't have riverine characteristics. I think it lists a couple of things in there, but I'm not an expert on that. Horizontal zonation, I'm not, and vertical stratification, I'm not even sure what those definitions deal with. I guess I approach it from common sense. Standing there, it looks like a pond, it's not moving, at least not visually moving.
Right, right.
But any pond has some movement with inlets and outlets, unless it's a kettle hole and it's stagnant.
Right. I mean, the bank. I mean, also the banks were a little bit. I mean, visually were a little bit different than normal pond banks, where there was a kind of a more natural sort of bank. That just. I mean, that was just an observation.
Yeah, I don't know what the water level fluctuation is out there versus.
Did you guys check out the banks at all down by at the?
No, I remember walking down to the edge.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I wouldn't say that it was different than other banks I'd seen in the past, as far as pond banks, because like at Pine Meadow Pond, there are certain areas of Pine Meadow Pond that look like that as well, which are similar, where you have water entering and then you have the impoundment. So
Yeah.
no, I appreciate the information. So for instance, I think I would have to say, based on the definition, that it does behave more as a pond than it does as a river. I don't know that there's anything, I don't know if there's anything that calls it out specifically as a river. Do you have any thoughts, Jess? You're the only one.
No, okay.
Kate, did you see this?
Just to add my file review of other projects in the area, nothing has had riverfront area, just as a comment.
Yeah, we appreciate John going through this. This was one of the questions we had, primarily to make sure that we reviewed the project in the appropriate way. Okay, so while we're on site, we had some concerns about expansion of the yard space. The split rail fence is there for that.
Let's see, yep. We need to send this to her. And I can point at it for you.
To Jess's point, I think the only thing that that we may want to do to add would be the signs that note that the space behind, they're small signs that go on a couple of the fence posts.
Sure.
Would seem to make sense to tell people why the fence is there.
Yep, certainly.
And then it's already in our boilerplate, I don't know if we talked about this the other day, it's already in our boilerplate where when you are selling a house, the person who buys the house has to sign off an affidavit that's attached that says that they recognize there's an order of conditions on the property.
Okay.
It's belt and suspenders, but it's important.
I'll warn the property owner and their attorney.
It's usually not a big deal.
Nobody reads anything they sign at a closing anyways.
That's why it's not a big deal. Okay. We had talked about the rain garden, which I think we all saw a value in. And
Yeah, they'll get some good treatment at the end of the line there. So we provided a detail and with planting lists and soil mixture lists, and then show the location on the plan. So
that's great.
John, just a question. So regarding all of these lots that, kind of follow and kind of end at, further out from the flagging, one tendency for homeowners is to, clear a path, right, down to the water edge and put dock in. So, that's going to be, pretty destructive, in this whole area, which is,
unfortunately, the rest of the lots are, well, you gotta look at it from two ways. Fortunately, there isn't any work proposed in the buffer zone on the remaining lots. So notice of intent filings aren't required. Unfortunately, that doesn't give you any ability to notify them or remind them of the regulations, and it becomes an enforcement issue.
Well, one thing we could do is put together a letter that says you are moving into a new house on a river or on a pond, and here are the things that you need to worry about, and we could pass it on through the building inspector to effectively hand out the permits.
Okay.
So, because I agree, there's no way to help them understand what their plans are. So,
I'm sure DEP has some generic guidance documents. I know they do for septic systems that we use a lot to hand out to people that don't even know they have septic systems.
yeah.
Is that something you could take a look at?
didn't you see the excitement in her eyes as soon as I said it? She looked jacked. Okay. So, based on our sidewalk, so right now we have our public hearing is open for DEP file number 100-0406. During the walk, we talked about coming back with a revised plan, which we have. We talked about a fence that delineates the two spaces so that the homeowners know. During this meeting, we talked about a small add to that, which is the signs on a couple of the fence posts. George, did you have anything else, or no? Bonnie?
And then just the corner of lot 8, again, how far away is that from the?
We're on lot 7.
We're on lot 7.
Oh, we're on lot 7.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, what was didn't we talk about rainwater?
I think we talked about providing leaders to make it away from the building because the building inspector didn't want it close to the foundation.
Right. He had let us know on another permit that he had an issue with that.
So I put a standard rain leader detail 2 feet away, showing them sloping away from the house.
Okay.
That should cover his concerns, I would think. The building code does require positive drainage away from the foundation, so he has ability to shut them down also.
And we were interested because he certainly seemed to have a pretty strong opinion about it.
Mhm.
And so, just wanted to make sure you were aware of it.
Thank you.
Okay. At this point, based upon the information we have, I would accept a motion to move forward to issue the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0406.
Second.
Any final discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to September 14th.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And so, move forward with the order of conditions.
Thank you very much.
Continue to 9/14. Let's open our public hearing, reopen our public hearing for DEP file number 100-0407. This is the property next to the property we were just discussing. So during the walk, we talked about the same items, the split rail fence, soil storage in the front, dewatering in the very front. The shared driveway goes into the rain garden, which is on the other property.
Yep. I figured keep it on one property, it's cleaner in terms of maintenance. It's one
And
person's
also
job.
they had more space.
Yep.
All right, this house ends up with a definite real backyard, which is good because it's closer. And I would recommend that we suggest signage on the post as well.
To preempt your question, the back corner of that building is about 42 feet off the wetlands, and the hay bale line's about 20 feet off of that wetlands flag 19, which sort of juts up a little bit. So,
We were bumping right into that
Yeah.
25-foot.
yeah,
42 feet off from the house.
20-ish for the septic. I'm sorry for hay bale.
The hay bales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No septic.
No septic.
No.
Process that.
Yeah.
Do you have any further questions, George?
And then, so the rain garden to the right of that's all going to be lawn area?
Yeah, this area would be lawn back here. They would have their yard back here, and the rain garden sort of would actually act as a separation between the two lots.
Right. And then for rain garden, do we, in order of conditions, do we have the ability to?
There's a planting list.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, on the left.
It's generic, but yes, there's a planting list. I think it's the DEP recommended species.
I saw, in my perfect eyesight, I saw bee balm, I saw the smooth alder, I saw the swamp sunflower. It's right here.
Yeah, those are the perennials, and then below that, there's a list of shrubs. Red twig dogwood, eastern ninebark, red elderberry, high bush blueberry. And I think, to be honest, I think that's straight out of the DEP manual on.
Yeah. How large is this area?
Well, it's pretty significant.
On the 20 scale plan,
40 at least.
it's about 50 feet long and only about 10 feet wide.
50 by
So it's
10.
long and narrow.
Okay. Well, it's a lot of plants and.
But it's a great way to handle
Yeah,
the
no,
water
it's a
coming off the
great,
driveway.
no, definitely, yeah.
So last weekend, I actually walked down, so there's a couple of homes in Devon's where they did the zero energy homes, and they all have rain gardens out front, and their driveways are all pitched in,
On Cavite?
and,
Cavite is
Yes.
the name of the street? Yeah, I did those.
did you?
Yes, for Carter.
The only thing that one of the ladies said to me, and I should have mentioned it on the last one, is she said that the red twig took over, got so big,
Oh, yeah?
and so she said that she took it out. She moved it. She moved it over to the other lawn edge.
Yeah.
But the lady who was there loves it, and the people who are there
Yeah.
take great care of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, no,
So,
if you're,
very
a
positive.
lot of people, either ignore it or, some people like it and take care of it and,
Carter Scott is the
Encourage.
developer. He's out of Townsend. I don't know if you've dealt with him. Those homes are amazing. They're 12-inch thick walls, super insulated, heating, air conditioning, all electric. And they have the solar panels on the roof. After the first year, one of the guys over there had an $800 credit with the electric company.
I trespassed regularly.
So all his utilities were paid for, and he made money. Well, they won't pay you for it, but you have a credit. So, so they're really cool.
It's cool. Feel free to do that with these. So at this point, we've covered all the
Yep. And
issues.
And the other thing I just want to note that, so we did have a walk, there is no purple stripe. I mean, that I could see in that immediate area, which is really kind of quite surprising to me. There's like a lot of native species back in there. You know, once you disturb soil and, you know, seeds are gonna fly in and take root and, you know, become more of a problem.
I think the area that's going to be disturbed is going to be lawn. There's
Yeah.
shouldn't be any area disturbed beyond that.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah. But, you know, there'll be, yeah, okay.
The potential that there
The
always
potential,
is.
there's always potential, yeah, just, you
I'm gonna
know.
walk through before any
Pull it before it-
COC signed off, so it would be a good time just to put an eyeball on it.
Maybe a little line item.
And the area up to the water in there was more forest upland than it was.
Yeah, a lot of
That
dead,
was
well, I
wetland.
noticed a lot of dead pines and.
Oh, yeah.
So those, yeah.
That is a good place for a reminder, like we
Well-
talked about that day. Obviously, those all stay. All the snags stay. So,
Yeah.
make for better birds.
Like, there were a few downed trees, those stayed.
Right. All right. Any further questions or comments? I would accept a motion to begin work on the order of conditions for DEP file number 100-0407 and continue this public hearing to November 14th.
So moved.
Second.
Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, John. And thank you very much for the good work on the riverfront information.
All right, we'll see you on the 14th.
Yes, sir. Okay. We have a public hearing for DEP file number 100-0412, NOI for White Horse Builders.
Good evening. I'm Robert Oliver with David Ross Associates. I'm here tonight with Gary Schimmel of White Horse Builders.
How are you tonight, Rob?
I'm good, thank you. How are you all?
Good, thank you. Gary?
Good, thank you. So I have my green cards for you.
Great, thank you.
So the proposed project is 231 Snake Hill Road, on Sandy Pond. If you have the plan in front of you, there's an existing cottage on the lot. The lot is 8,780 square feet, so it's a very small, pre-existing non-conforming lot. Mr. Schimmel has been to the ZBA, and they've approved a new house on the lot. It meets all the setbacks. That was one of the things they wanted to try and get, but because it's pre-existing non-conforming, it needed a finding from the ZBA. So we have that. Essentially, so the cottage is located here in this corner. The pond is here. There's a wetland that follows the pond edge, except it comes out in here. It's a little bit of a lower area in here. So we have, the lot's entirely in the 100-foot buffer zone. The 25-foot setback is here, this red line. And there's also floodplain by elevation to 228.3, which is highlighted by this red dashed line. So that's on the plans as well. So the lot itself, so the existing cottage is proposed to come out. It's just on piers, there's no foundation. It's pretty decrepit at this point. And we're proposing a house with about a 1,450 square foot footprint. So there's a garage here, 30 by 32 foot house box, so rather modest. New driveway. We're showing straw wattles basically around the entire back of the lot. And that would also serve as our limit of work. That's the brown dashed line here. The house construction requires very little grading. It's basically all at grade. It's flat now. So there's very little earthwork involved other than the excavation for the foundation. The existing cottage is roughly 6 feet off of the edge of wetland. We're putting the house basically, we're meeting the rear setback, which is the pond, but that puts us also 14 feet at our closest point to the wetland. During construction, I know you're always interested in where we'll stockpile materials. As we can't get it out of the buffer zone because we're completely in the buffer zone, I'd suggest we stockpile in the front of the lot, in the front corner. Any excess material will probably have to get trucked off, as we're not doing much grading on the site. In the buffer zone, we're altering approximately, I wrote down here somewhere, 6,500 square feet of buffer zone area. We've kept our clearing to the minimum possible. We're not creating a huge yard in back of the house. There's some pine trees in there that will come out as part of the construction. We've also had a conversation with the neighbor down here, whose house is right here, very close to the existing cottage, which is essentially right on the property line. There's a large 30-inch pine tree there that threatens both the existing cottage and his house, and he's asked that we, as part of this, maybe take that down. So we'd agreed to that. So there is this extra tree here, kind of outside of where we need to clear, that would want to come down as part of this project. That's the project in a nutshell. Certainly answer any questions you have.
Was there any way to situate the house so that it was, further than 14 feet from the wetland?
We had actually wanted to be, we were actually closer at one point, and the ZBA asked us to meet the rear setback, which I believe is 25 feet, which we're at 25 and a half. We actually did even shorten up the house a little bit. We had a 32-foot square box that we shortened up by a couple of feet on the depth to get it out as far as we can. We really can't at this point in terms of the setbacks. And the house is already fairly small.
Mm-hmm. Anything right now.
No, understandable. Yes.
Are there plans to try to access the water from the property?
No.
So where are they?
No plans on my behalf.
That's not to say in the future you might not have a future owner of the house wanting to and would have to come in, but we don't have any plans at this point.
And
Is
future
there ever a dock for this? Do you know if there was a dock license issued?
I don't know on this one.
You familiar with that whole Chapter 91 we went through?
In the whole Sandy Pond thing, yeah. I don't know that there is on this property. There isn't one there now, so I doubt they would have.
Yeah, there isn't.
Okay.
And the house was so close, they really didn't need it before. You're right.
Yeah.
Step off the porch, you're under the water. So
Is there a plan to keep the natural vegetation along the?
We're showing a limit of work and clearing basically up to my erosion controls. Over by the existing cottage, I wouldn't call it open. It's overgrown. There's no big trees in that area. We may want to clean it up, but we're not clearing to do so.
All right. Anything else, Jess?
So you're not going to clear cut the whole lot and develop it?
So it feels like the best way to get a better feel for it is to see it on site. Best way to do that would be to stake the house footprint,
Mm-hmm.
and then also just because the limit of work would be so critical,
You want to stake the
at least flag
the erosion control line?
flag the erosion control line. And then it looks like specifically you've got laid out on the plan these 4 big pines. I'm assuming the 24-inch pine at the end can't stay?
No.
Okay.
And you'll see, there's a stand, I don't know why we didn't identify all the pines in there, but there's others. You'll see it at the site walk.
What is the front setback?
The front setback is 20 feet, and we're at 20 and a half. We always like to leave at least a 6-inch cushion
All right.
for goofs.
All right. Is there anyone here who's here to talk about this tonight?
Any proposed deck off the bat?
No deck. We were just discussing the fact that we might do like a paver patio in the back of the house.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm the next door neighbor, David Salter.
Good evening.
I just wanted to make sure that that 30-inch pine that's on the corner that they referenced, I've spoken to Gary about it. It's not in very good condition, and I just want to make sure that that tree is removed at the time the other trees are removed, because it'll be more exposed once the other trees are moved, and it will be even weaker.
Okay. Well, we'll be sure to take a look at it during the sidewalk. Okay. Do folks have time early this Saturday? No? Because my Saturday, the only time I could do it is super early.
How early?
I could do 7. I need to be somewhere at 8, and then after that I need to be somewhere at 9.
Yeah, I can do 7.
Yeah, I can do 7.
Okay, so now that we know we can do it, can you have it staked for 7?
Let's see. Today's Thursday.
Today was Thursday.
Yes, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Well, I guess we'll have to try and find a way.
I mean, I think if you can't find a way, I'd prefer the following.
Well, the following's Labor Day.
Yeah, the
Oh,
following.
yeah, would be the, yeah.
Labor Day.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
it's
worried
2
about.
Actually,
3 weeks out.
Your next meeting is probably not until the
So the
14th.
Mhm.
So we could, if you wanted to push it out to the 9th, the weekend after Labor Day.
We could do the 9th. We have a walk that morning at 8. We could do it at 9, but
Mhm.
we're encroaching.
Yeah, I'm not available.
Are you around on the 9th? All right. We'd be disappointed.
I can live with it.
You're
Well,
certainly
if the
welcome
stakes
to stop
if
by.
the stakes are in, you
anytime.
can probably come ahead of time.
Didn't you have to be somewhere in that?
I do. You're encroaching on date day, but I'm willing to do from 9 to 10.
So September 9th.
So 231 Snake Hill Road.
Just one more question.
Sure.
The wetland flag.
9th. You said 10. 9th. 10th
It's
is a Sunday.
the 9th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure you don't enter it wrong in your calendar, and we're standing there looking for you.
No, I just wrote it down. I put the 9th.
It's the 9th.
I know you do Saturdays, so I'd figure it out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bonnie.
Wetland flagging, is there, so 17, it seems like it ends at 17-1,
Yes.
but I know it
It does.
should
Yes.
go past that.
I can have our wetland guy go back out before as well. I'll do that. I
Okay.
noticed that myself.
Okay.
Oh, did you not flag beyond there?
Yeah, he probably couldn't get his bearings out there, and because there's some lawn on the next door neighbors, he probably didn't want to go too far. But that's fine. That's an easy enough fix to put a few more flags in.
All right. And to be clear, we drive over the bridge. Right?
Yes.
Just crossing over the bridge.
Yes.
There's the first house, and this is that second one that looked like it was the shed that was attached to the first house, but it's not.
It's not. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anyone have any other further questions? All right. I would accept a motion to continue this public hearing to the 14th of September with a site walk to happen on the 9th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We'll see you on the morning of the 9th.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right. Next up, we had Mr. and Mrs. McNulty. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Okay, thank you. Do we have photos or?
Yeah, so I have a little photo page right here. I think we can pass it around. There's a front and back to it.
Folks who were kayaking let us know that you guys had started doing a bunch of work down right on the bank including clearing and adding sand, which is right inside of the buffer zone for the water. It's in an area where no work should happen without coming to the commission to talk about how to protect the resource. When did you guys start work on the beach?
Actually, if you remember, it was 10 years ago, or thereabouts.
I actually said that. I said, I remember we went by that day and we talked about it.
Yes.
But it looks like a lot more work has happened since. Is that
I would
accurate?
say some work, not, I wouldn't call it a lot. I don't know if you remember,
I do.
but back, I think it was 10 years ago, I think George was on the board, and I know you were the chairman at the time, and someone on this committee had contacted a neighbor of ours and asked if they could go in the backyard to see the work that the McNulty's were doing. And that neighbor said, no, give them a call. They're reasonable. And that call never came. And then one Saturday, I think you guys do what's called a site visit. You guys showed up at the house. And I was out showing properties, and my wife was home with our daughters. And after you left, she called and told me. So I had called a couple of the selectmen at the time, and they told me to give you a call. And they said that Bill is a very reasonable guy. Talk to him.
It's too bad they lied to you. But yes, I remember, because we went to see Mr. Pena's house that day. And we just stopped by because we were in the neighborhood. But unfortunately, you weren't around. So.
Yeah, and the thing that bothered me, there was no courtesy call, and people just showed up. And my wife was home with the daughters and didn't know what was going on. But I did call you. We had a good conversation, and you actually told me you did a good job, and it is in fact sand, similar to Sandy Pond, that we drop sand off. So I'm guessing if I would have received a letter like this back then, there would have been no more work out at the pond. But because of our conversation, yours and mine, I thought, he said it looked good, and we're getting ready to sell our house. So that's why I decided to do more work and try to make it better. Now, if you were to come down there, you'll see that the sand does not go down to the beach if you're looking from our house, from the left side or the right side. I had 3 piles of sand delivered, 3 yards each, and I let it sit there for a while. And the rain dispersed it. Where we go in with our canoe, most of the sand washed into the water there. So Mother Nature brought it there and actually washed it out from the grass through the sand. Since then, I put these blocks on the inside of the sand closest to the house to build like a retaining. So when the water does come up high, as it tends to do certain times of the year, I think the town controls by removing boards or whatever it is they do.
I'd use the word somewhat, but yes.
Yeah. So there's times where the water comes up pretty high and then it goes back down. So I guess Mother Nature takes care of that. But to your point, yes, we have done some work recently. It was to beautify the property, to get it ready to sell.
Are you around this Saturday morning?
I definitely can be, yes.
I don't know if other folks have time. Could you guys do 9 o'clock? Is anyone interested in a quick walk at 9?
Very quick.
15 minutes? Okay. Would that work for you folks?
That would be great.
Okay. So why don't we come by and talk about it on Saturday morning? We'll figure out what to do with what's there now and
Okay.
how to move forward.
All right. And just so you know, 3 of the yards are sitting in a pile still that I was going to start moving this week, and then I get the letter. So that pile is still sitting there, and I was hoping I'd get some direction from you as to what I can do with that.
We'll see you at 9:15.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
9:15 or 9?
Oh, sorry,
9.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
9 to 9:15.
Okay.
we'll keep George's busy schedule.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice night.
You too.
I'm gonna keep Christmas rainbow. Oh, what was your last name? Alright. Next up. So, next up is we have a request for a certificate of compliance before we go into our typical updates and such. Did folks come for something specific tonight that I'm not aware of? I just didn't know if anyone came for anything that they were, I didn't see any of you interested in any of the other applications except Mrs. Salter. But I just wanted to make sure that no one was missing something or thought we were gonna have a hearing tonight that wasn't happening.
I think we do have a couple people who are here interested in potentially becoming a fifth commissioner.
Oh, interesting. Okay. The only reason I asked is I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have a meeting, that you didn't think we had a meeting tonight that we didn't have. Okay. Well, let's move forward then. We have a request for the COC for Catania Spagna. Good evening. All right. How do you do?
In terms of that, still nothing. The contractor that I've been in contact with is, well, I guess he was on vacation last week, so I haven't heard back from him. I checked the site again, no changes, so
Really?
I have nothing to replace.
Okay. Let's put it to next time.
Exactly.
Thank you. Okay. All right.
You know, when we do hire a new administrator, we should make them watch this first hour and 20 minutes.
So this is how it goes every time. Okay. I didn't realize, because we didn't add it to the agenda, I didn't know folks might be coming in tonight to talk about joining, which is very exciting, but we can do that right after. Why don't we go through any field inspections or anything that you ran into this week, please?
It's been a pretty dry week, so not a whole lot to update you guys on. I'm just gonna skim through my updates. I guess the only one to note is Rosewood Solar. I'm scheduling a site meeting with Mark Wetzel, just trying to meet with the developer, figure out the status of the work now that the interconnections look like they've been done, just see where we stand on everything.
Is Mr. Wetzel worried about it? Was Mark?
Oh, no, I don't think so. He just said that he dropped by the site, just looked at it outside the fence.
Okay.
I've been there weekly. There's been no change.
No, I've been there actually a couple times myself. I haven't seen anything, so
Yeah.
I just didn't know if Mark had expressed a concern.
No, I think he just wanted to go over some just like maintenance sort of things.
Did he mention anything about the manholes? So
the super manholes?
Right?
Mm-mm.
Do you know the history behind probably the manholes that are
Oh yeah,
They
they
are
were covered and then
covered, uncovered?
Start over.
One of the reasons why we agreed to this project was there were a number of
Oh, out in the swamp.
the sewer line
Yeah,
that
yeah,
runs
yeah,
through
yeah.
the wetland.
So does he have all the access to those?
And
that he
maybe
now
he's-
needs?
Well, he did the last time. Remember, you
Yeah.
could see them all.
Yeah.
And then the disappointing part was the beavers went back to work farther down. But I thought you could at least see two of them from the bridge. That I saw. I don't know that you could see
early in
all.
the summer. That was in I
Yeah.
think, early June, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it looks like now.
I was afraid you were referring to a newly discovered
No,
sewer
no,
problem
no.
on the other side. No,
No.
because that would have just taken the cake.
Mm.
Okay. So good.
Okay, yeah, so that's looking like next week. We will take care of that. And other than that, just
Were you familiar with what we're talking? Did you ever see this on the plans?
oh yeah, I kind of heard that whole backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah, about draining the apartment and whatnot. So
Well, it was kind of a big deal because the sewer line for the hospital runs through there. So if there was ever a problem, kind of a thing.
okay. And so that is all I have for you.
Excellent. All right. I did see Zoning Board of Appeals forwarded this to us. It says It's for 4 Pierce Avenue. Where is 4 Pierce Avenue?
It's across from Sandy Pond. It's that, you go past Calvin, isn't it? That little thing that goes by.
Is that Pierce?
Yeah, I think.
Well, it says applicant seeks a variance to raise a pre-existing non-conforming second dwelling on the lot and replace with a larger dwelling, allowing 2 dwellings on 1 lot. Repeat application, they've let the original approval lapse.
So we want to put
Tell me again where Pierce is? So I go past the beach, am I headed towards Sandy Pond 3?
Calvin's
No.
on the left, Pierce continues.
No, off Snake Hill.
Oh, you said, oh, okay, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Sorry. So across from, so yeah, so you go past Calvin Street, you're on Snake Hill, go
Yeah.
past Calvin,
Yeah,
you go a few more, 2 or 3 houses.
and that's
then
that little,
it goes up the hill.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a chapter 61A property up there off that piece, when we were looking at it one time. Okay. So it's on the opposite side of the road from the resource.
Right, but up a fairly steep hill.
All right. And that's disappointing. They let it lapse. It was granted in 2015. Okay. All right. Oh, maybe this is it. See? See the size of the property? And the parcel, the houses are in the front? This is actually exactly the piece I was thinking of. See how big the parcel is behind the houses?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
You want to see it on the,
Yeah, this is way up the hill. Yeah, okay. So, I'm gonna
Yep.
indicate this non-jurisdictional. And then some. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, very quickly, do we have any other field updates at all?
Other than that, I mean, just small stuff.
Okay,
Pretty much the usual. Work continues.
okay. Any issues, so no issues on any of the projects?
No issues. Let me just double check that. Oh, Pleasant Street Extension, there's been no work there, but it looks like, I don't know if it was rain, or it looked like only in one section of the property there's a puddle. And previously when I met with Sean Fournier of Onyx, they were just gonna touch up some erosion controls that had been breached. There's no actual wetland discharge.
Right.
I know I filled you guys in on that. I just sent him another email to see if that could be done, since there was obviously water at the site.
So Pleasant Street Extension, so the bigger project, how about the one on the other side, the, off the end of, Nashua Street, thank you. The ones off the end of Nashua, have they been doing work down there?
Yep, yeah, they're
Okay.
just continuing to build the detention basin, but everything's been going fine there.
Okay. All right. Do you have any updates, George? No. No? Jess?
just one, and I actually meant to go down there again, but when I was walking the dogs down by the, going into Pine Meadow, you know, the stream crossing, it looks like Mr. Hood has been digging the,
Piers?
putting in the piers in the ground. Haven't been down to see.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, so he needs to.
Stop.
Yeah.
Did he come with a
No.
plan?
No?
A plan?
No plan.
No plan.
I can explain it to you, Bill, if you want.
Please do.
I just assumed that he was okay, otherwise I brought it up myself. I was gonna take a picture, but he's dug 4 sonotube, footing, for sonotubes, basically, on either side of the brook.
Is he?
And installed 4 sonotube.
I completely forgot to mention it at our
That's
meeting
odd.
last week, but
I just guessed that you guys were on board, so I didn't say anything.
Huh.
No, it's unfortunate because, so we were still waiting for, so part of the discussion was that they needed an NOI and they needed a plan in order to do the work. I mean, the benefit was that we could work, very closely with him to help him get it done, but he needed an NOI and he needed a plan.
Seems like he's definitely has a siltation potential problem there.
And then some. Plus he's crossing a stream. Well, that's very disappointing.
Yeah, very odd.
Pine Meadow Pond, so
even
so if you head up Groton Harvard Road past Oak Ridge, just before you get to where the town transfer station is.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
right, in those woods down in there, a very large parcel, 170, 160 acres, 145 I think, was taken by eminent domain or for tax taking many years ago. And it includes the whole area that is the impoundment that is Pine Meadow Pond.
Okay.
Pine Meadow Pond comes up, and then there's a stream that comes into Pine Meadow Pond, and where that stream is where the sonotubes are. So
Oh,
in the
yikes.
past, people would jump over rocks, and this boy was talking about doing a bridge, and it was going to be part of his Boy Scout, Eagle Scout program. And so we were trying to work with him to help him get a bridge design with GPR was going to assist, and it was all very headed in the right direction. It seems we've gone sideways a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I saw that, and then I had to go to Rochester for a friend with cancer, so.
Do we have a number for Mr. Hood?
I have an email.
Do you?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir?
could, the other thing that came to mind is that I believe he's gonna need a building permit for that. He's doing structural work.
Well, there's a
I thought-
number of different qualifications, but the very first one is you need to have an NOI because of the work and where it's located, and on top of it, I would assume he would need a building permit, which would have to be processed with the town because it's also on town property. He can't actually put in a bridge without a building permit, which the town would have to approve. So we were working with him on the first step, which was the order of conditions to do the work, but we don't control the
Is that
property.
Robert?
I thought he might have got a permit or something, maybe he just went
His
in.
father, right?
I'm going to guess not.
So we'd have him come into our,
I think we need a phone conversation as soon as humanly possible, no matter what.
so we have just us. Ken, who's always here.
And excited.
Are you Lee?
Lee? No?
Okay. John, who's just observing to see if we're interested.
If you can put up with it.
And there's Ruth. We do have brownies.
That's right. And I'm sorry, I forgot your name, sir.
Mark Phillips.
Mark, that's
I
right.
was here more about the wetlands bylaw. Been kind of out of commission for a month or two, and I'm not sure exactly where it stands, and I've sent emails to you folks only to not get any responses, so I was kind of wondering what's going on.
Didn't our email response should have come back that there was no one in the office. So Brian resigned.
Okay.
And when Brian resigned, we were very, very lucky. We were able to steal Kate to come in and help us to make sure that we don't fall behind on applications and doing our due diligence. No, which do you have emails in the box from Mark? That's actually very odd.
Not current. I don't know if there's just past
Okay.
correspondence. What was the last time you sent one?
20th July. So yeah, about a month ago.
Was there no response? I think that was like right when I started.
I don't believe so. I mean, I may have got an auto reply that something, but there was questions in there, so I guess I would have assumed that there would have been some sort of response outside of just an auto.
All right. Well, So we'll work backwards on that, Mark.
Mhm.
I apologize.
Okay.
So with regard to the wetlands bylaw, excuse me, basically we put the wetlands bylaw on hold to get through the summer season
Right.
when we're so busy. And then the anticipation was to take it up in the spring. And there was another piece to it. As you know from our meetings, there was an awful lot of back and forth, and so it was important to us to, we still have this section open for comments, correct? Folks can still do comments on the,
I believe Brian set that up.
I think on the website it's still.
yeah,
open.
I think it's
We haven't
still
received it.
possible to get comments on there. And so our intention, without putting it off, our intention was to focus on hiring a new conservation administrator, because as much as we adore Kate and everything she does for us, she's only 2 days a week, and that strains the ability to do much more than visit the sites that are going and keep up with our applications.
Okay.
Our idea was to get someone in and then have that person begin to work with us to chew down through the comments and take each section one at a time so that we could delve into it and then potentially take up the discussion again in the spring. If we can take it up in the spring, we can carry it through the summer and then go to fall town meeting next year. And that's
2019.
right, 18,
Okay, yeah.
18, yeah. You stole an entire year.
Yeah, well, I work in a fiscal year world that shifts our years, and so I got confused. Sorry.
But that's in it, and it was more about the fact that during the meeting, we did our best to be as prepared as we could be for the meeting. But clearly, there were a lot of comments that came out and some very strong ideas and feelings, and it made sense to us to go back and really tear each section apart. The only reason to have a wetlands bylaw, in fact, the only legal reason to have a wetlands bylaw, is to have portions of your bylaw that are more stringent than the state law.
Right.
There's no sense having a wetlands bylaw that just says, what they said.
Right, and we discussed that.
Right.
Yep.
And so as a result, one of the things to go through is to go through and figure out which of those things really do apply to a town like Ayer. So for instance, we had some comments about some of the stormwater, and there were a lot of strong feelings about the stormwater, which, quite frankly, I think we didn't expect. Some of the comments were, well, what happens at different times a year? And then when we had those comments, we said, well, I hope people find that the commission is pretty reasonable about these things. And people said, yes, but what happens when you're dead?
Exactly.
Which isn't exactly what everyone said, but the idea was there. And so we wanted to go back and go through all those items one more time. There are some that we did feel pretty strongly about would be helpful to both the community and the residents of the community. But I think we need to get more information and be able to say, okay, here's why.
Okay.
So basically, what it'll require is I don't want to sound like a martyr, but it'll be a word by word review, so that when the meeting comes up, we can say, well, we went through word by word, and that's what we really meant, and that's what we wanted to be. So.
And
Which then again will be voted on by the town.
Absolutely. The idea would be to put together a bylaw that can then be discussed on town meeting floor and then voted on.
If you're looking for help, I'd be willing to volunteer to help you guys.
That's very kind. That's very kind. My anticipation would be the month of January. December, I'd love to say December, but undoubtedly in December we're cleaning stuff up. So January, I'd like to have a hardcore press next year and say, how are we going to go forward with this? Because the last time we did it was many years ago, and it really came back to, it was a very difficult time, and I think we backburnered it for 7 years, something like that. So.
Yeah, and since this spring, we've had unusually packed agendas.
Well, it's interesting. So, since 2008, the agenda's really slowed down. We figured out why. It was the housing crunch. But since then, in the last 2 years, we really started to see the applications pick back up. So
Sure.
it's been busier.
Yeah.
But we did try to squeeze in the bylaw last year. Clearly, it just needs more work, I think, for that discussion. So, but
Thank you.
I hope that answers your question.
It does, at least now I understand
Yeah.
where it sits, and that's, like I said, it was kind of, I was wondering if it was going to be in the fall, because that was the original intent, right? So.
That was the original intent, but I think another big piece of it is we really need a person in the office who can put their focus on it full time, and work with us to nail down all those pieces, and also to take the comments and be able to say, okay, this section, this literal paragraph, here's what we heard, here's what we know, here's what we're thinking, it'll be a long, it will take a considerable amount of time to go through all of that, but it seems like it's the right way to do it. Even if it does take, a couple of months of nighttime special meetings to do.
Yeah, and I think we were on the path to it when we had the meeting upstairs. We kind of cut through one by one. I think that was useful.
I think we were on the right path, but I don't think we were anywhere close to language that people were going to find acceptable. There was so much disconnect with what we were trying to do. I think that's a big part of why we put it to the side and said either we're off base or we're not explaining it right. So, and also, another part of it. So, the last thing I'll say on it, rather than tie everybody up. Sometimes people say, well, when this happens, it's a bad thing. And you say, well, it's true, that is a bad thing. But if it only affects 1% of what's happening in the town, if there's only 1% of the land area where that happens, then it's a different story than when someone says, yes, this is a bad thing, and it refers to all the wetlands that are in the town of Ayer. And so those are two different things. I feel like if we could have qualitative statements, even if we got to the point of saying, this particular area is affected this way, and this particular area is affected this way, those are very reasonable and responsible ways to do that. Right. And then those people, so that the folks who live over here don't realize that what we're really trying to do is protect this area over here. If they're that different, then it makes sense to make literally almost segregated areas where the regulations apply.
I agree.
So, a lot more work, but more sensible.
Right.
And it would protect people's concerns.
I think so.
So, but that's a big project. That's next year. Kate's actually going to come volunteer for it. She's excited about it.
Good job, Kate.
So it is interesting. So I did not realize that people were coming tonight. So to talk about potentially joining.
Oh, no, not really.
Just excited people.
George hadn't, I had mentioned to John he might just come and sit in on one of our meetings.
Sure.
Just to see if we looked human. And there's another person that George had responded to who was also thinking of coming in, but
Yeah,
not here.
right, it's not.
Yeah. So John actually lives in the log cabin, the corner of Calvin, between the two ponds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Good evening. Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that house. Everybody who drives by likes that house.
They can't love it as much as me.
Well, I do because I don't pay your taxes. Things get to enjoy from the outside. So I would say, and Ken, I think, will back me up, tonight was not a representative meeting. And what I mean by that is that we had there were 6 applications one night, and we were here till about 10:30, and they take a long time to chew through and discuss the items, and then there are site visits. And so what you saw tonight was the lighting the candles and blowing them all out in the same meeting. So it usually is not that fast. I wouldn't want anyone to be disappointed.
It seemed very efficient.
Well, that makes once. The last hearing for the house on Snake Hill. That's pretty much how those normally go. Someone comes in, especially on a small project, they explain to us what they're trying to accomplish. They give us basic information about what the distance is to the wetland. In a lot of cases, those numbers are less important than what the site looks like. So you can be 50 feet from the wetland, but if you're at the top of a very big hill and you happen to be 50 feet from the wetland, that's a much bigger concern than the folks who are on a flat space and they're 20 feet from the wetland, but the land grades slightly or changes, and we're not as concerned about future encroachment as well as what might happen during construction. So that's where every single site that we get, that we have a notice of intent, every single one we have a site walk, and so that's what will be happening on the 9th. We'll be visiting that property over on Snake Hill Road. Now, unfortunately, folks aren't allowed to join. We had a homeowner years ago who was concerned about liability of having folks who weren't part of the town on their property.
Yep,
So, otherwise I would invite you to come visit.
it's just down the street.
Just down the street. You can probably look out your window and watch. And it's rude to eat in front of others.
We're gonna
All right.
We're not in the formal part of the
Yeah, there actually is enough for everybody. But we'd be super excited if you were interested, and as like we were saying with Mark, and I'm just saying interested. As we were just saying with Mark, we have a very big project coming up with the bylaw. Have you had any experience with conservation in any of the communities you lived in before?
Not at all.
I was hoping you had a longer answer. Did you live on a pond before?
No, we lived in Acton.
Hmm.
We actually have a piece of property up in Maine that's on a lake, so there's a lot of restrictions that we know about from the Land Use Regulation Commission up there. And it's just, we've been here almost 2 years. And one thing that struck me, which is very different from Acton, is that it's a very welcoming community. And the Flanagan Pond people and Sandy Pond people seem very nice and interesting, and just would like to give back.
Well, that's very exciting. No, I appreciate your interest. I hope that I hope we can have you come by at another meeting or two, so you can take a peek. I would hate for someone to join just on the strength of one meeting. That's how I got tricked in.
You stayed.
A couple months now. Oh, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You don't have to go.
I actually do.
Oh, well, there you go.
I have to get up very early, so.
Well, as a warning, our meetings go to 10.
I'm sorry, don't know. Oh, till 10 o'clock. I can make 10.
So if you decide you are interested, then you should just submit a letter to the town administrator.
Or even talk to us at the next meeting and say, you know what, I think this is for me, and then we can talk about submitting that in.
Okay.
We do not actually pick who joins.
Okay.
We refer, but the Board of Selectmen, by definition, is the group, the body that appoints people to the commission.
They just review applications.
They do, and it hasn't been. It's not. I don't mean to give the impression that we offer you up and they put someone else on that they were thinking of. It's just more that I just want you to know it's not in our control.
I get it.
They're usually pretty fast with it though, but I just want to be clear.
Okay. No, it was very interesting.
Wonderful. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Can you pass those brownies back? Miss Ruth, were you considering joining? Is that something? Just asking. Just ask. Did you come for the brownies?
I just was bored tonight, and I just like these meetings. I was curious about one of them, so
And Mark, if you wanted to volunteer on the bylaw, if you had any interest in, we also lost a commissioner this spring, so we have a vacancy.
Yeah, I also am new to the town. Been here 13 months now. So, having moved from Lexington. Want to get out and breathe a little, so.
Put some money in the bank.
Sounds like me.
Lexington is surprisingly crowded.
So the knockdown, 50 knockdowns a year.
That's it?
Exactly.
50 to 100 knockdowns a year.
I hope so.
The neighborhood my friend lives in, I grew up in Arlington Heights.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time in Lexington. But off of Middlesex Turnpike, the little section, I forget what they used to call it, countryside. The countryside intersection?
Okay.
Okay, front of
Exactly
those
where
are
it was.
countryside, okay? In that development, which was all capes and ranches,
Yeah.
there's 2 left that haven't been knocked down.
Mine's one.
Danny
That was just
Dell,
sold.
Danny Dell, my buddy, who lives there. He's got a ranch.
Okay.
I was just down there a couple weeks ago. The house across the street, like $1.8 million, something like that, I figure.
Yep.
Of about 50 houses, 48 houses have been knocked down and rebuilt in the subdivision.
Yeah, it
From
makes,
50, 60 years ago.
but it makes sense. I don't mean to sound like a horrible
It's so
person.
close
What
to
I'm saying is,
128 that everybody
right.
wants to be there.
that's the whole thing. There's more value in the land than there was in the house. The house goes. There was one of the guys who used to work for me years ago lived in Needham, and a developer came in and bought the 4 houses that were in their little cul-de-sac and put up 2 gigantic houses, and that was the end of that. And I said, "Do you feel bad about it?" And he says, "Why would I?" But it's Lexington. The circus wasn't there. Is that? I think that's in Bedford. No. There was we we did a walk on a property a long time ago, and when we were there, the guy said, "Oh yeah, our street. This is where the circus used to be." I think it was Bedford, and there was literally, we go out there, and there's this big concrete circular foundation, and he said that's where the elephant tent was, and we thought he was shining us on, and his wife came out and said, "No, circus used to be up here, and it was in Bedford."
Yeah, never heard of that.
All right.
Are we still doing member updates?
Well, as a matter of fact, we are actually. Although before we forget, so Ken, I know you just come for the fun of it.
No, I didn't actually I want to give Kate my email address, if I could be emailed the order of conditions that you issued for Air Solar 2.
Oh, sure.
I'd like to get that.
Did we get that new plan by electronic?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, I just want to make sure Ken got the right one.
You do that, okay. And the other thing I wanted to comment on was you said you're out there recently, Bill, you saw Air Solar 1, and you must have seen, I was a little confused, I think, that Air Solar 1 went through an RDA, right, or didn't need to go through an NOI.
Well,
the location of the panels.
So hold on, Rosewood.
Yeah,
Rosewood, yeah.
Rosewood Drive extension. The Rosewood section went through an NOI, but the location of the panels went through on an RDA until you needed to look at the fact that there was additional clearing done in the riverfront.
Right.
So I think I made a comment. What I'm curious about is that they submitted the meeting's closed, so you could zap me, I guess, but they submitted an O&M plan for Air Solar 2 as part of the work they submitted, the documents that they submitted. And I assumed that was the same O&M plan because I thought it was put in for Solar 1, which calls for looming and stuff under the panels and grass rather than just the existing vegetation coming back in place, which is going on out there right now. Was I wrong about that? That there's no grass on Air Solar 1? That was my question.
I don't remember there being grass. In fact, I think so first off, a lot of what's under Air Solar 1, as you're probably familiar with, is all sand.
This stuff is just, it's amazing.
The last time I was there, I didn't see the weeds.
I remember exactly what was discussed.
Okay.
So we discussed, because I kind of was a little more adamant about planting within the solar field.
Well, give yourself credit. You were much more adamant.
I was very adamant about it. And because it wasn't an NOI, there was really nothing we could do. So it was suggested, verbalized, that they would plant grass under the solar panels. That was sort of a gentleman's handshake, if you will, to do that.
Okay. One of the things that Bonnie brought up, and I think I felt badly about afterwards because it wasn't something that we focused on, was apparently there's a whole push in a lot of European solar fields to do wildflowers. And what they're doing is they're actually doing beekeeping on the edge of these solar fields.
Native plants, right.
With the idea that, you've basically created a field, with shady patches in it. Why not take advantage of it for bees?
Insects, other insects, right.
I think the basic, one of the problems that you get into and one of the arguments that these folks always have is maintenance. And so what that really comes down to is how high are the panels off the ground? And what they're not looking for is anything that interferes. So what I'm sure they would love to do is pave the area under the solar farm, which quite frankly, if they had a stormwater plan that worked, I guess it would be, it would be something to consider. But at the end of the day, they're always going to come back with the idea that they need to go in there and clean it and maintain it so that it doesn't interfere with the ability of the solar farm to do its job. That's where the problem comes in.
Well, you remember I own a solar. You remember I own a ground mount solar.
Right.
It's the only one in town that's not part of a large scale solar system.
Or on a roof.
Or on a roof, but I'm the ground mount.
So I prefer yours, and in fact, so there's one out in New Salem that's very similar, and actually, does yours tilt? Does yours actuate by season?
Mine's the same exact specification as what those guys installed, except I have grass under the whole thing.
Right. And the folks that are out in New Salem have one that actually they can go out and crank it. They can change it. And then when we were up in New Hampshire, there was one in Sandwich, and it was very similar to yours, where it was probably 3 posts and they had it all framed up, and it was grass underneath.
The reason I brought up the question is because there is an O&M plan with Air Solar 2, which is presumably part of the order conditions.
Actually, I'm not sure that it is, because the majority of that work up there is outside of our jurisdiction, but you can certainly look. I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, it was definitely one of his, submittals was this, and it talks about grass. So that's what I'm gonna be following up on, I guess, is that it will in fact be different than Air Solar 1. It will have grass.
Well, it's certainly a good question. I just don't remember seeing the O&M plan.
Yeah, you remember?
Did you see it?
You see? You must.
I thought that O&M plan was more about like the maintaining the driveway so that the single family homes didn't have to.
It's got 2 pages. Well, I don't have my stuff with me tonight, but
Yeah.
it's part of it's part of the documents.
Yeah, I just don't remember I don't remember the part of it being up by the solar panels.
Yeah, there's 2 pages. The second page talks about the mowing and the grass and all sorts of stuff. A couple of 3 paragraphs of each. That's the reason I brought it. I asked the same question during one of the hearings, but then it dawned on me later that you didn't have the NOI on SO1, so you wouldn't have potentially had that same piece of paperwork. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, we can certainly look to see if it's included with the RDA package. I mean, the point of Air Solar 1 being an RDA, the original application being an RDA, was that all the work was, basically outside of the buffer zone.
I understood that, yeah.
And so that was a big part of it. There was minor encroachments, but it was way out in the edges of the buffer zone. And as they said to us repeatedly during that meeting, we're coming back to you with the hard one, which was true. They did come back with the entrance, which was the difficult one. But we can look to see if we had it. All right.
I do have one comment on these solar panels that are going up. The ones that 5 acres of land were cleared across the rail trail for Maine a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. I used to have 2 pairs of squirrels in my front yard, and the year that they cleared off those trees, I had squirrels fighting all over the place, trying to say, this is my home, and they were just, couldn't go out the door without stepping on them, almost, not quite that bad, but exaggerating. But there were at least over a dozen squirrels in my front yard. They were all trying to fight for territory. And I have no idea about the other critters that were displaced from that, but that has never been addressed anytime I've ever seen anything about what happens to these poor animals, whether it be the squirrels especially, or the chipmunks, or the rodents, or muskrats, or raccoons. Oh, my neighbors had skunks like crazy that year too. I didn't, but they did skunks. I've had skunks this year though. But, and it's just that somehow they have to find a home, and so they start invading the neighborhood, and I don't know, I think that should be taken into consideration. I think solar, one that you're talking about, how many acres of land did that clear off of those pine trees?
I wish I knew.
It was between almost up to 10 acres.
Almost at 10 acres. I thought it was almost twice as much.
No, it was about 10.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to remember what, because the
my
whites.
house too, when they're clearing that, so I can't imagine where all those animals went.
I can defend you on this
one.
As not being a member of the board, but as I live virtually in the same line that you do, only I know exactly where you are. I'm further down the rail trail, just off the power lines and whatnot. But this commission, I've attended a lot of meetings for this commission, and they do require habitat studies to be done by the applicants, and they're very, very efficient and deep in their studies, and I feel confident that they've covered this topic in the paperwork that they've asked applicants to submit. So.
Well, I appreciate that, Ken. I think our biggest problem over time, Ruth, has been that when someone comes to us for one of these projects, it's a real conundrum. First off, how can you be against solar power? It's clean, and it's the right thing to do, and it's fantastic. And that particular project actually involved a lot less clearing than some other projects might, because some of it happens under where the power lines were. And so it makes it even more of a favorable application. As far as the squirrels, and I certainly wouldn't make excuses about this, But I will tell you that one of the things that we're dealing with right now is a greater tick problem. And what they're saying is that's because over the last 2 years we've had a greater mast creation, more oak trees and other trees that make nuts. That has created a greater squirrel and rodent population. And that's one of the reasons. Apparently a mouse can have, and I don't want to gross anybody out, but as many as 100 ticks on it. And they said that on a mouse. And one of the things that they did a study on was making these little traps that a mouse would walk through to get to some food, and there'd be a little thing that dabbed an insecticide on its back and hopefully killed all the ticks off. So they had talked about just in the past couple of years, especially in the New England area, that we've had this much greater mast, and as a result, we've had greater animal population of those animals that eat that kind of stuff. So I don't know if that contributed to your squirrel problem, but all I'm suggesting is that I don't know that we've had anybody come to us. I appreciate your feedback. We hadn't had anybody come to us on those houses that are right on that street. Maybe someone's having a similar issue that's right there. But when it comes to the solar projects, I think my feeling is that after the solar panels are in, that some of that area will normalize for a lot of those creatures, not necessarily the squirrels that live in the trees, but I can absolutely picture other animals making burrows under those panels and moving back in. So it's tough. It is very tough. But at the same time, solar power is the only real true clean alternative we have that doesn't.
I know I have it too, and I haven't paid an electric bill in a year. So I'm very
And that didn't bother you at all?
putting it on my roof now.
All right. Right.
So would that disqualify me if I work for National Grid?
I
do.
Oh.
I gotta talk to you.
Well, actually, sadly, Mark, that would be tricky because you'd have to recuse yourself. We have a surprising number of applications that do come in that are related to National Grid. But all right, if there's nothing else, we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes, and I'm just going to rail outrageously about this positive train control project and these towers.
Of a CA position.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We
already did updates.
Well, we hadn't. What are we actually doing on Robert Hood?
Oh, I need his email address so I can write to him and
here.
say, what is going on?
It's Robert.
No, don't read it out loud.
Yeah. Me?
Or you could just give it to me and I'll email him right now. Okay. In the 2 minutes we have left,
And I did have one other quick question.
I have invited Erica, and I told the folks who were on time, I've invited, hold on one sec, guys, just for 1 second. I've invited Erica Cross to our meeting on next Thursday, our new special 7 p.m. meeting. You guys wanted to meet with her.
Oh.
I talked to her. She is very interested. I said, one of our biggest concerns is the distance and how that works for you. And she said they're down the Cape now, but they are definitely trying to move to Central Mass. And that, in fact, next Thursday she will be in Townsend. And when I said, would you like to come in and meet with us at 7, she was very excited. So this is a family that already has plans to move to Central Mass. She says possibly even sort of on the Western Mass end of it. And I said, great. Look forward to seeing you at 7 o'clock.
On the western?
In other words,
Oh.
Central to Western. She's not moving farther out on the Cape. She's moving in the other direction.
And what's the date of next Thursday?
31st.
The 31st.
Okay.
Are we meeting with somebody else that night too?
That was the next question. So she called me literally at 8 minutes before this meeting. I talked to her on my ride here. And the other young lady was Kate Poirier.
Yeah.
And so I was going to call her tomorrow and see if she'd like to come that night. Again, I think we all expressed reservations about her level of experience, but if she'd like to come in and talk to us, I guess I'm real torn. I don't want to waste her time, but if she'd like to come talk to us.
This is next Thursday.
Next Thursday. All right. And then last but not least, I won't be here on the 14th. I did not realize the 14th is a NIWA thing, and I will be somewhere where people are golfing and I'm not.
Yeah, we just, on the 14th.
I have other plans.
On the 14th, we have Jassy Brasco, I think is going to give us her
Who's the
update.
lady who met with us last time?
Yeah, North County Land Trust.
Yep.
And then 6 Pingree Hill, new ones.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. And then continuations of
Tonight.
Snake Hill and Littleton Road.
And Zero Rosewood.
Zero Rosewood.
Riverfront Restoration.
Oh, and then, yeah.
Which hopefully he'll just be him handing you a plan. All right.
Yeah.
So on the, if you're not here on the 14th, are you available for sidewalks on the 16th or the 23rd?
Get you with your follow-up, George.
Put in.
Yeah, that's angry.
I can do the 16th. And the 23rd is Garlic and Arts, which I hope you'd all attend.
I have been wanting to go back there.
23rd and 24th, Garlic and Arts. Fantastic. Have you ever been?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Garlic and Arts is a festival out in Orange, Mass.
That's awesome.
And there's all sorts of, so the food is amazing. That's
It's
number
very
one.
hippy-dippy.
Stand up, oh, it's totally hippy-dippy. Stand up top just before they start making the food.
Uh-huh.
Have a free-range burger. My Noah had a free-range burger and now won't eat regular hamburgers because he had a delicious free-range burger.
Lots of garlic.
And there's lots of garlic. And you can do what I do, which is every year I spend about $60 on socks and hats. And so I get a new wool hat, a new pair of wool socks every year. So now I have a whole bunch of them.
I've got this little metal eagle that somebody made there.
Yeah.
Years ago. And then I have this great pottery pie dish, and then some photos that somebody took, just wonderful.
Oh yeah, that guy does the photos. We
Yeah.
always, Christine has a ton of them up on our wall.
Yeah.
All right, and last but not least, is that all you had?
Oh, I did have
Okay,
one.
you had a
I have
question.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so somebody, Carolyn McCreary said somebody's been, bought a new house, old house that they're redoing at the end of, Right Way or Sandy Way? Sandy Way, Right Way, Sandy Way. At any rate, they're doing a lot of hand pulling of weeds, which I think.
Which one's Sandy Way? Wait.
Hedgeway, Edgeway, Ledgeway, Sedgeway, Right Way, Sandy Way.
Okay. So Sandy Way is the one that's
across from Harry's.
across from.
Harry's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Goes down that one. Doing a lot of hand pulling of weeds and stuff. My only concern is this somebody we should maybe just drop a friendly letter of, hey, it's fine to do hand pulling.
You live on a pond.
You
Here are
live on a
things to know.
pond, Here are things to know, so that rather to forestall.
I think we just
the-
made Kate's Tuesday.
I think so, yeah, just to sort of forestall the problems we're having with the guy on.
Right. You live on a pond. You're buying a house on a pond.
Yeah, so just to be proactive.
That's.
on
I
it.
think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I think
I will try to get.
Make a
the-
nice mailing.
I'm gonna get the address and get that to you.
Okay.
Tuesday.
I'll draft a letter.
Yeah.
Well, I think it'd be nice if we, especially, if we found especially if there's something on the DEP website, and then we can go and do. We had a mailing list, remember,
Yeah,
by address, right?
years ago.
for all
I'm sure
residents?
for everybody who lives on a pond, yeah, because we had done that mailing back for
For the-
for weed treatment and
Right.
stuff like that. We
Yeah.
just use the same mailing list.
Yeah.
So you live on a pond.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to reach out to this particular one.
See if I can find a great picture of me holding a bass.
Right.
Yeah.
Two things. One is, we all know that they're treating Sandy, Flanagan, right? And Sandy and Pine Meadow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was announced before you got there.
Oh, so I missed that. Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. And then regarding, beaches with sand, as we know, people that live on Sandy Pond as well, which is a little bit different than Flanagan Pond, there's a lot of, beach continuation and enlargement. Seems like it gets bigger and bigger every
Well,
year.
there's two problems. So on
Right.
Sandy Pond, we had said to people in the past, so obviously the idea is not to go out and build yourself a beach, but the reality is that if you stand in the water on Sandy Pond, you're generally standing in sand.
I know, but here's my.
But this, no,
I
so
know, but
that's
here's the
not
thing.
how it is on Flanagan's Pond, and I know that's not what happened in my discussion.
So, wetland, if you read the manual, every time you put sand, it's gonna run
Right.
down into, so it's a continuous buildup of a sand material
Right.
in an area, and over time, that sand just will build up, right? So pretty soon, you've got, a pond this size, and then, maybe 100 years down the road, with all the sand, you have a pond that's this size.
Drop
It
in
will-
the
it
nuclear
will
winter
happen.
on that. I'm certainly not debating it.
It will happen. It's a continuous process.
I am not debating it.
And if, everyone puts sandy beaches, it will eventually evolve into a smaller water body.
Well, we've had this discussion before with people expanding beaches. What I've never had a problem with on Sandy Pond is if someone has a sandy beach, especially if it's one they didn't put in there.
True.
And it was there before.
True.
It's just they're not to add to it.
Right.
And so that's been the way we've dealt with that. And then the other thing was, and I think it might have even been Badertha who said it, or no, it couldn't have been Badertha who said it. But when you stand in that pond, it is a sandy pond. And so while we don't want to continue to add to it.
So I think part of what we write, maybe to neighbors, is instead of putting new sand in, maybe you dig the old sand out that you originally put in and replenish your beach.
Yeah, that gets
Like
confusing.
Like dredging.
Well, that's where, right? And then they say,
That's actually a
hey,
good idea.
I've been dying to dredge my beach. What a swell idea.
But then we have real issues with people disturbing.
Right?
True.
Yeah, so then that becomes a whole different.
And now you get
Yeah.
the soil that was under all that sand in the pond.
Yeah, so you have sediments released.
Right. You actually work
Yeah.
worse than you
It's
had
like-
hoped to have it happen.
It's like Sorcerer's Apprentice.
True, I know.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah, we don't want to give people carte
No.
blanche that you can go in and do earthwork in the pond without ever talking to us. You can do it in the wetland, just not in the buffer zone to the wetland.
right.
It's like,
Right.
it's just-
No, the problem is,
Yeah, it's
the problem is to your point, there
fine
is no,
line. It's a
the
fine line.
only appropriate thing to do is to say if you're planning to do anything, you have to come see us.
Overpopulation.
It's a fine line.
Overpopulation of human beings on the planet.
Well, with that in mind,
Anyway,
Can I have
Ken?
a brownie?
yes.
I was just gonna ask if you had any feedback on the pond treatment program. Did you feel comfortable with the money you spent so far?
Well, the only thing that's happened so far is I think I don't know if we've had any public comments. Has anybody heard anything from people? Any of your neighbors said anything about the pond treatment, or have you guys noticed anything specific?
a couple of neighbors have questions. Two neighbors actually said, "Oh, the treatment hasn't done anything yet," and my comment was, "Well, it is killing off a lot of the milfoil in the middle, because there's a lot of dead matted material that the beavers are using to create little islands that you probably saw, right?
yeah.
All those little islands that are appearing that weren't there 2-3 years ago.
And they're from the beavers?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Of
that's
course they
wonderful.
are. Of course they are.
So there's two parts to the equation of the pond treatment. The first part is the initial treatment, and then the second one is the follow-up treatment. One of the things that we've always run into with the pond treatment is the idea. So I don't know if you've ever been on a pond. One of my good friends, his wife's mom lives down there in Bellingham. There are no lily pads in that pond. They come in and they poison it every single year to the point where there's nothing. And so one year we were catching bass, and I couldn't believe it. I said, where can they possibly live? None of their habitat remains. All the stuff around the outsides of the pond is gone. He's like, oh yeah, they treat it real well every year. And I'm like, yeah, they treat it real well every year. So when we treat, the idea is to get rid of the invasive species they raise in milfoil, and to some extent, we do lose some lily pads. But the idea is not to get rid of all the lily pads. And so occasionally we get some feedback where people say, how come the pond isn't pure and clean and pristine? And the answer is because the pond is less than 5 feet deep, and as soon as you treat it this year, all the stuff grows back next year. And so the idea is to kill off the milfoil, and the herbicides that are used are very specific. So they're meant to kill those things off the way that they kill them off. So So the first part is that sometimes it doesn't look like everything's gone because the lily pads don't all go away. And the second thing is they do a first treatment and now they're back doing their secondary treatment. I was really nervous this year that the first treatment was too early. We've never had a treatment that early before. Usually they wander some fine line, end of June, beginning of July. And this year it was May, right? Isn't it?
End of May.
May, end of May? We've never had them treat that early before. And so I was very concerned that, that it wasn't going to have we weren't going to get what we were expecting. But the contract stipulates the work gets done in the beginning, they go out and they measure and determine where the weeds are, and then they go and they do the treatment, and when they're done they have to do the same analysis, and they have to show that they cleared off 85% of the weeds, because that's the contract amount. So I'm never worried that we'll hit that 85%, because it's in the contract, and if they don't achieve it, they'll come back next year to finish. So.
And Pine Meadow Pond, we are targeting the lily pads, but not to eradicate. It's to thin, to maintain boating channels and stuff for recreational use, just so it doesn't get choked off.
Right. Part of the reason is the lily pads are native, like pickleweed and some of the other stuff that's in there. Those are all native species, and so we don't want to kill those off. The real reason to treat the ponds. So there's probably two reasons really to treat the ponds. The first reason to treat the ponds is because we don't want the milfoil and the other invasives to take over. But the second reason is because for recreation purposes, it's pretty hard to swim in a pond that's totally choked with weeds and lily pads.
Or boat, yeah.
Or boat, right? Or enjoy from your backyard, as some people concerned about property values have mentioned. And so the primary reason to clear the pond out is to clear out invasive species. And the other reasons after that are recreational and aesthetic. So, like, you'll never get rid of all the lily pads, and if you do, it's not a pond anymore. It's just a bathtub.
Well, it's going to have to be, to keep it sort of under control, it's going to have to be treated like on a kind of a continuous basis.
You're going to have to go to town meeting like every year.
Well, we weren't going to have to, but then we do.
Every year, I don't know.
The intention was, if you remember during several of our meetings, was to create a mechanism that allowed the town to put money in the account every town meeting, and then we would be able to let it build up, and then we could pay for a treatment at any point. We could go out and sign contracts and do all the stuff we needed to do to keep it moving. Because one of the other things you have to worry about is you want to be one of the first towns to get in the system every year. We've had a couple of really high. Well, we've had warmer weather. Well, that's also contributing. So all these things are contributing, and it's going to mean that the people who treat are busier. And there used to be two people who treat, and those two companies joined up, and now they're one company. So we're also limited on our, base of licensed professionals who can do the work. So meeting minutes. You saved these for the last.
Well,
I forgive you.
You
All right.
zipped ahead. And
It's 9:14. We're going to be done by 9:20. All right, ready?
Yes.
So, we have meeting minutes from 7:27. How did we not do 7:27?
Because 8:10 was our next meeting, which we canceled, no quorum, because I had to go to New York, and then it wasn't on our agenda for the interview meetings.
You just saved these because I wasn't here. I blame you. You seem like forever ago. All those Pingree Hill were back on 7:27.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any changes to the meeting minutes dated 7/27/2017?
No.
I would accept a motion to approve the 7/27/17 meeting minutes as fabulously written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pass those back.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you. Last, 8/17. Was this just the air solar 2?
What?
Was this just us being nice?
That was when we did the interviews, but then Kyle came in. This was just last week.
Oh, right. Kyle
to
came
see if
in
he
and
could pick up
interrupted.
the order conditions and
Okay. This was with regard to the discussion about the money.
the money.
Right.
Which I did find a little delight in finding out that the money was there.
On camera.
Interesting.
Okay. And then we did the executive session. Perfect. What's this? Does it need to be signed?
We have to sign, I have to sign all the minutes now.
Oh.
I used to just get them, I mean, and I have to figure out how to, don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's not a detail you want, but they have to be signed and then they have to get stamped by the town clerk's office before they can get posted onto the website, and that leads to all sorts of little challenges.
That actually makes sense in its own funny way.
It does.
Okay, so the meeting minutes from 8:17 were our quick discussion with Kyle about the monies, and then very quick our interviews, and then some very quick discussions about the walks that Kate did for all the places because we had that rain. I would accept a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 8:17 as fabulously written.
Second.
Question?
Please.
We had an executive session that night to approve the previous executive session minutes. We have to have another executive session.
I was thinking that, and I think not, because otherwise you keep it an endless cycle of executive sessions. The reference to the executive session here is just an approval strictly of the minutes without discussion of content. I think
What
we're
would
good.
Kim Jong-un do?
Yeah, because if you go into it,
Yeah.
Right, you
it
could
just
never
like-
end.
It's like, yeah, it's like a mirror.
So to your point, the item on here says that we entered executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 38, Section 21A for the sole purpose of approval of executive session meeting minutes with the plan of adjourning post. So no content is discussed.
So we're going to live dangerously on this.
I'm kind of disappointed.
I'm sure. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Anything else, Kate?
Nope, not for me.
Okay. So, thank you everybody for coming tonight. I would accept a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
A wave. You're never going to get used to this.